I've really always believed, truly, in everything in life, slow and steady wins the race. You have to have a foundation, you have a point of view, you build your clientele. I've added things over the years, so when I thought that there was kind of a hole in the market, we started with the foundation of having a very strong signature and a very strong DNA with the women's designer collection. And then jumped into so many different other things, from menswear to fragrance to accessories, which have become super important for us. But I think it's so important to have that kind of foundation, that DNA, that fingerprint. We're working on so many things constantly, so it's truly not a 9-to-5 job. I'm always thinking and looking. You have to stay curious. But often it starts with the mood that I'm in at that moment. But then I start to sit and I work on all of our fabrics. We go to Italy, we go to France, and we start developing cloth, things that I think will represent that mood. I'll sketch sometimes just at like random moments on a cocktail napkin. It's not that I sit down and say, okay, well, from 10 to 12, I'm going to sketch that day. Whenever I have an idea, I just jot it down. One of the things that I've always been about is kind of balancing the idea that I am a storyteller, but I'm also a problem solver. There's two different ways of looking at things. You can have a woman walk into a room and everyone says, oh, I love your dress, that's amazing. And I'm more of the kind of designer who thinks, I want people to say, oh, you look amazing. And then after the fact, they say, oh, I love what you're wearing. We think about windows the same way. Windows, first and foremost, it's me telling people what I think is important at that given moment. It's framing everything we do in such a way that it puts the star and the shine onto the product. We spend so much time working on it. I want everyone to notice it. And I think it's always that balance of art and commerce when we do a window. I'm pretty convinced from the very beginning that my DNA is something that's very specific to what we do. I like things that are beautifully made but not precious or pretentious. So the window is this really quick moment when you walk by one of my stores that you say, ah, not only do I know what Michael Kors is about, but I know what he's thinking at that given moment. I'm one of those people who has to see things first and fast. I'm fast and furious. So art is part of that for me. The minute Cindy Sherman opens at MoMA, I've got to be there. I want to see what's happening. I want to see what's happening in London when we go to see David Hockney. I want to see Jean-Paul Goude in Paris. I have to see Herb Ritz when we're in LA. I travel all the time, so there's a constant thing about keeping your eyes surprised. And art is certainly a part of it. I kind of think of art, for me, twofold. There's art as pop culture, what's going on right now, and then there's art that can influence you, just color juxtaposition, texture, things like that. There's so many ingredients in the stew of what I do. Some seasons it's going to be a piece of music, some seasons art's going to be more important, some seasons it's film. It's just part of the stew, whatever provokes me at that moment. The secret life of Michael Kors is really part of the theater world. There's something to me about live theater that is, I love the storytelling, I love being transported, and I love to travel. So if I can't go to Africa or Australia or Bali because I'm going to be at work the next day, I can be transported in the theater. It's something that's always intrigued me, and it's like this other life. For a moment, I took acting lessons as a teenager, and then I had this incredible realization that number one, fashion was really what I loved, and I can't sing and I can't dance. Michael Kors really stands for this yin and yang, this balance between someone who's a problem solver. I'm a problem solver. I think people have complicated lives. So I really am thinking about the handbag that's going to work, you know, with what you wear to work. And then if you've got to go to the gym, the bag still has to work. It has to be glamorous, but it can't be too heavy. I don't want to change bags every day. I mean, I think about all of that. Then the other side of my head is really all about a fantasy. You know, there's so many ingredients in the stew of what I do.